The poor baby was thrown into a sewer the moment he was born. By the time he was pulled out, he had already stopped breathing. Who could be so cruel to do something this heartless to a newborn? Not long ago, firefighters received an emergency call. A man said he heard a baby crying inside the bathroom wall. But when a captain checked, he heard nothing at all.
Someone flushed a baby down the toilet.
Because the man had just taken drugs. At first, the firefighters were doubtful. They suspected it was a drug-induced hallucination, or maybe the sound of rats. At that moment, the captain signaled everyone to stay quiet.
Did you hear that?
The captain immediately walked into the bathroom and pressed his ear against the wall to listen closely. To hear more clearly, he even brought a stethoscope this time and tapped on the wall with his fingers. Sure enough, faint cries of a baby came from inside. The captain immediately grabbed a marker and marked the spot where the sound came from. Still, no one could quite believe it. Even for a newborn baby, it would be nearly impossible to be flushed down a toilet. But no matter what, the most urgent thing was to break open the wall and check before the captain could give the order. Buck swung his axe and was ready to go.
Did you even stop to consider that you might hit a baby? Yeah, I didn't think so. Go get the saw.
Okay, I'm
You have to admit Buck really charged in without fear. The captain raised the power saw and carefully cut around the marked area. Then several of them pulled the wall open together. Soon a sewer pipe was fully exposed. At this moment, the police officer also arrived at the apartment. They suspected a teenage girl upstairs had given birth and flushed the baby. They were determined to find this irresponsible mother. The officer led the team knocking on every door upstairs, warning everyone not to flush their toilets, to prevent the baby from drowning in the pipes. At this point, a father and daughter caught her attention. Just as she was about to question them, they immediately shut the door, which made her suspicious. As she turned to leave, she suddenly saw a pool of blood on the floor by the door. She followed the blood trail into a nearby unfinished apartment. Only then did she realize this was where the baby had been forced into the sewer. She was instantly filled with rage. At the same time, the firefighters cut the sewer pipe free and found the baby stuck inside. But the baby was wedged in too tightly, making it hard to push him out directly. The captain applied lubricant along the inner wall of the pipe and finally managed to squeeze the baby out. But the bad news was, the baby was not breathing and his body was covered in filth. Even with a breathing bag, there was still no response. It seemed the airway was blocked by debris. The captain carefully removed the obstruction with his fingers. At last, the baby let out a weak cry. Everyone finally breathed a sigh of relief. There was no time to think. Buck grabbed the baby and ran downstairs. The baby had to be rushed for treatment. Upstairs, the officer was furious. She immediately knocked on the suspect door and barged inside without hesitation.
What do you want?
She pushed open the bedroom door and saw a teenage girl lying on the bed, with bloodstains still on the sheets.
Your daughter just had a baby. We have to get her to the hospital.
She quickly sent the girl to the ambulance as well. But on the way to the hospital, the girl finally showed a trace of regret while looking at the baby. The captain took her hand and placed it near the baby. The baby tightly gripped his mother's finger. Even though he was abandoned at birth, the baby still chose forgiveness. If you give in to forbidden desire, you must take responsibility for